If you live in an apartment, you might want to listen to this with the lights on. Because what I'm about to tell you still haunts me to this day. Imagine moving into a new place and realizing you are not alone. Not because of ghosts, but because someone or something is living inside the walls. This happened to a man named Ethan, 24 years old, quiet, introverted, recently moved into his very first apartment. On the very first hour in his new place, he dropped his suitcase on the floor and heard a soft tapping sound coming from inside the living room wall. At first, he thought it's probably the pipes, but the tapping was slow, intentional, almost like a fingertip tapping gently from the other side. Then he heard a knock at the door. Standing outside was his neighbor, Mia. She looked nervous and asked, "Did you hear that sound too?" That's when Ethan realized this was not normal apartment noise. Mia stepped inside the apartment. As soon as she did, the tapping returned, louder, closer. They looked at each other in fear. Then the wall moved, a ripple, as if something pushed from behind it. Ethan shined his phone flashlight. Fresh drywall dust was scattered on the floor. Something inside the wall had just moved. Then they heard 3 slow taps. Knock, 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 as if something on the other side was answering them. They checked the bathroom. That was a mistake. The bathtub drain made a metallic ping, as if something flicked it from deep inside the pipes. The mirror began to vibrate like someone was pressing their hands against the back of it. Then Mia found something under a loose floorboard, a dusty, hand-drawn blueprint of the building. Someone had circled Ethan's vent in red ink. Next to it was a message. "Noise here, scratching, do not open." While they argued about what to do next, the vent grill bulged outward as if something slammed its head against the metal. The screws began to turn on their own, one by one, unscrewing from the inside. Mia screamed. Ethan stepped back, and then they saw it. A pale finger, long and thin, slid through the vent for a moment, then pulled itself back into the darkness. From that moment, the creature began moving through the entire apartment. The floors shook, the pipes rattled, the ceiling cracked. Every vent vibrated as something sprinted inside them. And the worst part, it was learning. Whenever Ethan moved, the knocking followed him, tracking him from inside the walls. Then they heard a whisper, a stretched, distorted voice using Mia's voice. When she realized the creature was mimicking her, she froze in pure terror. They tried to leave the apartment, but the creature did not want them to go. The hallway wall exploded outward. Drywall shattered as a long, thin arm ripped through the wall, its fingers bending unnaturally. The ceiling dented, the floorboards lifted. 3 different walls bulged at the same time. The creature was not in one place. It was everywhere. Ethan forced the door open and they ran. As they sprinted through the hallway, the creature moved through the vents above them. The floors bulged behind them. Shadows slid across the walls on both sides of the stairwell. They ran for their lives. They reached the lobby and called the police. 2 officers went upstairs to investigate. When they came back down, they said the apartment was normal. The walls were perfect, Vents untouched, no cracks, no dust, nothing. The creature had hidden deeper, intentionally, because the police were there. The officers escorted Ethan and Mia outside. Both of them were shaking, traumatized. The building behind them stood silent, completely still, too still. But inside the walls, the creature moved, sliding through the narrow crawl space like a spider, long limbs folding and unfolding, fingers scraping lightly against the metal vents. Silent, patient, listening. It crawled to another apartment, Unit 4D. Behind the drywall, it waited. Moments later, keys jingled. A cheerful new tenant entered. Her name was Lily. She carried moving boxes and smiled at her new home. She had no idea what was already living inside the walls. The creature pressed its face against the inside of her wall, watching her through a tiny hairline crack. The wall pulsed once, barely noticeable. She didn't see it. And then the crack closes like an eyelid, blinking.